Last night was another busy one on the river. These barges were passing about every 15 minutes. I know he didn't get any sleep last night, and then when we got back out on the river, the sun was out, burning and humid. In this situation, we'd say, well, I didn't get any sleep last night, but at least I'm already sweating through all my clothes. It's a way of embracing everything that happens instead of always looking for the sunny side. This sailboat busted its mast, but at least it's also half sunk. It was the first wreck we came across on this entire paddle, so we had to check it out. It was on the west side of the river. We paddled right up to it, tied onto the side, and then I went in to see what was inside. It was too visible to the public for there to be anything good inside the wreck, so I was just going in to see what the inside looked like. Immediately, I noticed the whole inside was covered in mud. As I stepped into the boat, my feet sunk into it and touched mystery surface below. I went very cautiously forward because I didn't know if there would be anything sharp. Once I got to the forward compartment, I didn't go any further. It was underwater, full of mud, and again, I didn't think there'd be anything valuable inside. The registration was only a couple years old, so whoever's boat this is probably still knows it's out there. The flood left all kinds of debris on the shore and on the front of islands. It made me think about trees, how they stay planted in one place their whole life, and then when they die, they get to start traveling. Unlike people who move around for their whole life and then die and stay in one place. I could tell from one of these logs that it lived its life as a birch tree. We haven't seen a birch since northern Iowa, so this one traveled quite a ways. The campground was right where it should be, and no one was guarding this water spigot, so we helped ourselves. Everyone was hiding inside their camper with their AC units running, and I don't blame them. But if anyone ever claims to be having an adventure from a chair inside an air-conditioned room, you know that they're lying. All the fun is happening out here on the river, where you're sweating like a pig, but at least there's whirlpools to turn your canoe sideways. In truth, this was one of the mild ones. That's why I recorded it instead of holding onto my paddle with both hands. Mowgli has to hop everywhere to keep his foot from being infected, but at least there's mud halfway to your knees. The river got big and the waves got pretty nasty the further down we went and the more it was stirred up by the towboats. Mowgli checked the chart and saw that a small finger of the river broke away around a long island and presumed that if we followed the back channel, we could avoid all the waves of the towboats that were chopping up the river. At the moment he had this idea, there were two barges immediately beside us, one passing the other, and a third in the near distance. This is what we would have had to negotiate if we stayed in the big river, and this is the little channel we ended up paddling instead. We looked for a campsite back there because it was quieter and there wouldn't be wake from the barges to disrupt our canoe during the night. But we struck out and found ourselves back in the main channel before long. The island we settled on was the smallest in the area. Two beavers jumped into the water and swam away as we paddled up, and then once we got on the island, it was evident that they were there. Beavers hate trees. Nothing rubs a beaver the wrong way like a tree that's still alive. Everything that they could reach on the ground had been chewed to death. Everything you see here that's still green is probably a willow because it's hard to kill, or they're working on killing it in the near future. Mowgli insists that they need the inner bark for their food, but I think that they're knocking trees down just out of malice. He got the fire hot and I got the water boiling for jambalaya with pepperoni, chicken, and dumplings. I flattened the fuel down so it would accommodate a pot, then set it right in the hottest part to boil. I made my stirring and serving spoon out of my regular spoon, some wire, and a stick. I don't waste any food, so that one that fell in the ashes, I blew it off and ate it. How's the jambalaya, Mo?
Pretty good.